Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing really well. And this is one of my blogs. I've been having lots of dreams lately, but the Lord is not having me share them. And in fact, yesterday, the Holy Spirit, specifically put it in my spirit that He is guarding my lips. So He's being very careful about what it is that's being released and what He's holding back. So I thought that was really interesting, especially because, as you know, I've had these dreams all my life, was never to share them. And then just those few He had me share. So I'm not saying it doesn't mean He won't have me share anymore, but He did let me know that He's guarding my lips. So I'm to be very careful as to what I release and what I say and all of that. And I'm thankful for the reminder, as always. So just my general blog for today. It's not Wednesday, it's Monday. I'm going to talk about Wednesday. It's Monday, and I peel onions and help at the warehouse on Mondays. I help my great uncle on Mondays. So it's really, sorry, my shirt keeps like shifting over there. So typically you'll see me in t-shirts on the days that I go to the warehouse because I stink like onions until I go shower. But I just wanted to put this blog out. So it's a good day. I'm thankful for this day. I went to sleep last night. And the night before, actually, as I'm falling asleep, I just kept thinking how much I love the Lord, how much I love Yahweh. And this morning, I was just thinking how nice that is to be able to have that feeling, because I just had such a warm feeling. I was feeling so loved. And it's very cyclical. When you feel loved, you give love more easily. And it goes in that cycle, and the Lord always makes sure that we have enough of Him to be able to give. So I really liked that I've been falling asleep with this feeling at night, just thinking how much I love Him. And it really is kind of like a childlike feeling. You're just so thankful. Like, I just love you. I just love you so much. I know it sounds strange. If I were to say like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, if I heard somebody speaking the way I'm speaking right now, I would think, I don't know about them. I'd have to kind of keep my eye on them and see where they're at, because that would have seemed a little weird to me. Is that, I don't know, kind of telling as to where I was in my maturity as a person, my maturity as a Christian? Was it a sign maybe of my spiritual wellness at that point? Maybe all of those things. I'm not sure, but I just know that when I go to bed at night now, I really love thinking about how much I love the Lord. It's really such a calming and comforting feeling. So this Wednesday is Halloween, and I don't want to get on to that topic too much, just because I'm not really trying to start arguments. We are all at a different part, like a different walk, right? At different parts of our walk with Jesus. So I don't want to get so heavy into that and make it seem like if you're celebrating Halloween, shame on you, because you don't know until you know, or maybe until the Lord shows you, which was the case for me. And if the Lord hadn't shown me, there's a really good chance that I would still be celebrating Halloween and Christmas and Easter and all these things. So we don't celebrate Halloween in my house. The rest of my family does. As for me and my husband and my 7-year-old son, we do not actually celebrate Halloween. And because his school, on Halloween day, they have a whole big parade and they do parties and all that kind of stuff for Halloween, he's actually going to stay home. So he's going to stay home with me because I don't want him in those celebrations. I don't want him aligned with those things and with those thoughts. And essentially with the spirits that surround all of those things. I don't want him in alignment with all of that. We have had a lot of spiritual warfare. I have had a lot of spiritual warfare in my life. And when I say spiritual warfare, I'm also talking very strongly about manifestations of things you don't want around, okay? So without going too deeply into that, I am just telling you I come from a standpoint of experience. You don't want to be around it. So we finally got our family away from the spiritual warfare. We are a stronghold for Jesus, and we want to keep it that way. So my son will be staying home with me on Wednesday, and I'm really looking forward to that because we get to do fun things, which, as you know, if you're a parent, you spend so much time making sure that, you know, your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, the homework's done, you're up in time, you're at school, you know, chores are done, the lessons are learned, all these different things. You put so much time into that sometimes when you get to the end of the day, you just feel like you didn't actually have good quality time. So I'm actually really looking forward to him being home that day. And what we anticipate doing is we plan on having fun together, but him and I are going to sit down, and he's only 7, so his attention span is short. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just do like a 10-minute prayer. Him and I, now I pray separately anyway, but, you know, because Halloween really is a time for witches and for Satanists. And if you really believe that Satanists aren't a thing, if Satan isn't a thing, or witches aren't real, there's a lot of research for you to dive into there, okay? But witches are real. They practice witchcraft, and it's dark magic, which comes from Satan, from the demons, and all those dark powers. And they're very much active on Halloween. So us as Christians, we need to pray against these things and speak breaking of curses and breaking of hexes and casting out of demons and those kinds of things. My lamp, I always bump it. I always bump my lamp. So whenever Halloween comes around, I spend more time doing that. And I have more prayer time because of it. It makes my prayers longer, and I pray more frequently throughout the day. But as far as my son and I goes, there's a lot of animal sacrifice and human sacrifice because of Halloween. It's really awful. And so I think my son and I, we're going to make sure that we pray for maybe 10 minutes. We're going to pray for anybody who could be affected or afflicted by these things. Anybody who could be having, you know, struggling. They're trying to get away from it and they can't get away from it. Pray for the children and the people who have been taken in this time. This is also why you'll see, if you follow social media, a lot of times people will say, keep your black cats inside, because people who have outdoor black cats, this is the time of year that they turn up missing because witches and Satanists are doing rituals and they need a black cat. Sounds really off the walls if you're not familiar with it, but when you do the research, you realize that it's true. So, yes, keep your animals inside. And so all these terrible things happen, and my son and I were going to pray against all these things, and we're also going to pray Thanksgiving because my son is home. He is safe. We are safe. We're saved. We're safe and saved by Jesus Christ. And we're blessed. We're blessed through all of that. So I don't know if 10 minutes is really a good amount of time. We didn't do it together last year. So I'm not sure if 10 minutes is asking a lot out of a 7-year-old, or if that's, I don't know. He does do his prayers at night, which are literally maybe 2 minutes. And actually starting this week, we're going to start adding, like one person for him to pray for extra, to kind of give him some prayer flexibility. I feel like I'm kind of like covering all these different things, but this is a blog and this is what's on my mind right now. So by the time he gets home today, he will have picked or chosen one person that he wants to pray for whatever reason, somebody that he knows specifically, because what he said was, originally when I told him, this is really sweet, originally when I told him to pick one person that he wants to pray for. He said, I already know, Mom. And I said, okay, well, who is that? And he said, I want to pray for all the bad people that they get saved by Jesus. And I thought that was really sweet. Just this blanket statement, save all the people, save everybody. And of course, then I had to have a talk with him that people are typically not good or bad, that most people actually just don't know. They don't know that there are sides to be taken. They don't know which side they would be on, and they don't know what each side offers, so to speak. So then we had to have a talk about all that. But after fully explaining it, I told him, make sure when you come home today that you have thought about one person that you want to pray for. And it could be for anything, whether he wants them to be saved, or maybe he just feels like they need friends, or maybe, whatever, like, I don't know, whatever it is. I'm really trying to keep it in his ballpark and not feed him things to pray for. I just want him to know that he should be praying. He does currently pray for enemies, which I feel like that's already a big step. There was this kid who really bullied him last year, and he still prays for him every night. So, but I thought it's time that he starts praying for people that, he sees on a regular basis too, and not necessarily an enemy. So, I'll let you know how that goes. Hopefully I remember to let you know how that goes. So that's kind of what's on my mind right now. Halloween's coming, and it gives me the jeebies. Halloween actually really gives me the jeebies, you guys. It didn't used to, actually. I used to love Halloween, all right? Even with everything I grew up with and everything I had experienced, I still actually really loved Halloween, and that was probably because I was afflicted. And sometime I would really like to give my testimony as to how exactly I came to Jesus Christ, like full unedited version. But there are secrets in every family, and they're not just for one person to release. And although I feel okay, they don't feel like secrets to me anymore. I know that for some people, or maybe every other person in my family, they would be upset or maybe feel exposed if I were to release the information. And my testimony really won't have the same effect if I don't give all the details. Whenever I was baptized, I had to give a testimony, and I did, but I left kind of like the gory details out, and it seemed like a lot of people really received it still, but I kind of felt like an imposter because I hadn't given all of the details and the exact truth as to how I came to Jesus. But the bottom line is, I'm just gonna tell you, our family line, not my mom, like it was through my mom, not my mom, but her dad sold the souls of every person in our family to Satan. And if you think for 1 second that Satan won't come knocking to come claim you, even if he doesn't have legal right to you, if you think for a second he won't come knocking to come claim you, you are sorely mistaken. You need to make sure that you are washed by the blood of Jesus. You need to make sure that you don't just believe him, believe in Jesus. You need to make sure you're following him, okay? So that's kind of where my testimony really revolves. And I forget now how I even got into that, but because I really loved Halloween. Even with all of that, I just gave you literally just like the tiniest glimpse into how I came to Jesus right there. And you would think, how can somebody still love Halloween so much? And I did. It was fun. You went trick-or-treating. You got dressed up. It was a big event. Everybody did it. Everybody did it. So whether you were in crowd, out crowd, like me, I was kind of a loner. I got along with like a bunch of different groups of people, but I was always kind of a loner. I always thought it was great because it brought everybody together, and you always had something to talk about, and you always had something to do together. And so I loved Halloween. I really did. I told everybody it was my favorite holiday of the year. Well, the Lord woke me up with that because he gave me plenty of dreams to make sure I did not like it anymore, that I understood it did not align me with him. And not only did it not align me with him, it actually aligned me with Satan. And that also goes for Christmas and Easter too. The Lord showed me. So I heeded his warning, and it was right before the holidays. And when I said to my husband, I don't want to celebrate these things, he was, I don't know. I mean, I guess he felt kind of how I felt, as far as I didn't know how it would go and how would we do it. And he didn't get dreams from the Lord, and he doesn't. So he really didn't understand. But he did put it in my ballpark, and he said, if you really don't want to, then okay. So I was really blessed for that. But so last year was actually the first year that we didn't do all of the holidays. And it was hard, you guys. I'm not even going to beat around the bush there. It was difficult in every way. Even if I wasn't talking to anybody about it, even if I didn't have plans that I had to turn down because of it, because people are inviting you and you're sorry, I don't celebrate that. Even not having had the explanation, it's in your face everywhere you go. And you have that sense that you're missing out, and that you're different, and that you're kind of weird, and that people don't understand you, and now you suddenly can't relate to everybody else about it, So you really do feel a sense of being ostracized, even though it's not really other people ostracizing you. You chose to withdraw from the pagan traditions. You do really feel it. And so last year was really difficult, and it was really difficult to explain to my son how we're not going to go trick-or-treating. It is not easy. All his friends were going trick-or-treating. They dress up for school, so they dress, they wear their trick-or-treat outfits to school. And some of the outfits are cute, right? But the bottom line is, you're still aligning yourself with a holiday that isn't godly. So regardless of what you're wearing or how you say you do it, and there are all these churches that do trunk or treat, you're aligning yourselves with unholy things. And this especially is a holiday where there are spirits all over the place just looking for someone to hold on to, and you don't want any part of that. So Brenton is staying home with me Brenton's my son. Brenton is staying home with me on Wednesday. We're going to do a little bit of prayer. We're going to play some board games. I wanted to see a movie, but I don't think we'll be able to, just because of the timing of it. We only have one car, and my husband needs the car at a certain time, and the time that the movie is, it would end up running into it. So I don't think we'll be able to do a movie, but we get to have fun together, so I'm pretty excited about that. And it's good, wholesome, just good mother-son time. So I'm really looking forward to that. What else can I say? I don't think I have anything else. The thing about Halloween too is recently I watched 2 videos recently. One was she used to be a witch. She was I don't know, I think they call it Wicca. She was into Wicca and all that stuff. I don't know. And really into celebrating the dead and all that. And she said she didn't feel like she was a Satanist. And she didn't feel like she loved Satan, but she knew that it had opened her up to all these different spirits and all of these evil things, but she didn't know at the time. Because for her it was just fun and partying and kind of a unity, I guess. Which she didn't have anything else in her life. So, and I also watched a video by a man who used to be a Satanist. He became a Satanist at a very young age. His mother had dedicated him into it, and brought him into it very young. Both of these people were saved, and I think that's really amazing. But the interesting thing is, both of them say that Halloween is not what you think it is, and that you should steer clear of it. So I kind of already knew that. And this year, to be honest, Halloween gives me the jeebies. I think because I'm not desensitized anymore. We get so desensitized because we're in it every year. We're taught to look forward to it. It's unicorns and all this kind of stuff. So it really gives you this impression like, oh, it's no big deal. You're really desensitized. Like I said, the first year that we didn't do it, it was really kind of like we felt like we were missing out. We felt like something was missing. We felt like we should be doing something. And we intentionally didn't replace the holidays, because then you're still celebrating. You're still celebrating something when it's really just another regular day, when I like to celebrate Jesus every day. So this year Halloween actually really gives me the jeebies, and I think it's just because I am desensitized to it. So I can feel the discernment more strongly when this holiday started creeping up and all the decorations started going in. And I like to go for jogs at night, and this year I was just like, I can't. Like, I just have the creeps. I don't want to be out jogging at night by myself in this holiday season. So I really believe that if you were to get away from Halloween, and I know some of you don't celebrate Halloween, so I'm not assuming like I'm the only person, but some of you don't celebrate it, but I feel like if you were to get away from it long enough to be able to build up your discernment so you weren't so desensitized and overstimulated by all of these evils basically that are in the world, you would be able to sense it, and you would be able to pick it out that it really isn't holy. So, but on a good note, I'm excited to have the day to spend with my son. So that's going to be pretty cool. And I don't think I have anything else to talk about. And I'm sorry, you guys, because I just went all the way around. And now you see why I write my dreams down before I come and tell them to you. Because if I didn't write them down word for word as to exactly what I'm going to say, I would just bird walk all the way around and miss a whole lot of stuff. So, all right. I hope that you guys take care. God bless all of you. Please be safe. Keep your prayer life in order. Keep Jesus at the forefront. Make sure you're getting into the Word. And pray to the Lord about the things that I said today. And he might convict you. He might convict you on that. So, all right. Take care, you guys. Much love. Much, much love.